So how are you doing, guys? Hope you're all feeling great. So welcome back to the second video on the macOS installation series on Windows. That is, what we simply mean by that is that this is a series where I've been teaching you guys how to install macOS on Windows. The first part is how to restore your DMG file on your USB flash drive or memory card. Then in this video I'm going to show you how I take a partition how I take a portion of my 500 gig hard drive. I took out 100 gig and then I will install my Mac OS on the 100 gig, and the remaining 400 gig will be for my Windows and my other files, because I don't want to lose my files, and I don't want my wall PC, since it's a Windows PC, I'm using it for other purpose. I don't want to make the PC to be just for iCloud bypass or for any other purpose whereby just one operating system, one Mac operating system will be running on it. So I want the system to be like multi-purpose. I should be able to use only Mac, and I should be able to use Windows at the same time whenever I want, and I should be able to switch in between the two any time I want to. So now, guys, if you take a look at my the screen right now, you can see I have like 4 partitions. So only 2 drives are available right now here. One drive is inside the machine, and the other one is plugged. It's plugged through the external drive. So the one on the external drive is the one I'm shrinking 100 to install the Mac on it. This is my disk 2 now. It's 500 in total, and I have store, which is the 400. I have new volume, which is the 100. So I'll just go ahead and delete the partition and make it unknown. I don't have any useful information on it, so I don't care. I'll just erase it out. So now, as you can see, it's unlocated. If I check back this PC, I'm going to see only 3 drives available, which means this is unknown. So I can just make it as a new simple drive, and then see it now. This 1000 megabyte, 100,000 megabyte, which make 100 gig. So I'll just make it a visible partition, and then we'll rename it to macOS, so that when I came to the disk utility, I'll be able to know which drive I'm going to install the Mac on, so that I won't make any mistake and erase my useful content. So I'll just name it Mac OS new. Let me just leave it as Mac OS. So mind you, this drive now is not going to work on the Mac, but I just rename it so that when I get to the disk utility where I'm going to change the disk to Mac supported disks, I'm going to understand which drive I'm really using. Though I can easily mark it out by the number of the size, number of the gigs on it, so I can differentiate it between the 400 and then the 100 gig. So I won't make that mistake, but I just rename it out so that you guys can follow it practically and then easily identify which drive you wanted to install. So now, on the next step, I'm going to remove the hard drive from the external casing, that's the enclosure. I'm going to take it out and then mount it inside my computer. Then I'll just start the video from there. Then we'll boot into my BIOS setup. We'll see what settings we have to make changes of in the BIOS. So see you in the next shot. Alright, so guys, the BIOS setup depends on the type of PC you're using. In most HPs is F9, while in most Dell PCs is F12. but this system I'm using is F2, so I have to keep tapping the F2 till it takes me to the BIOS. Alright guys, so this is my BIOS now. Even from the BIOS you can see I'm not using one kind of special PC. Alright, so now you use your arrow keys. Use your arrow keys here to navigate. So well, SATA mode should be on the AHCI configuration, and then fast boot. If your system have this fast boot stuff, you have to disable the fast boot. And then if you're using HP, you have to disable the I think is Intel something technology. You have to go to advanced and disable all those securities stuff. So the main thing is that you must have to enable your UEFI boot. So my system now, if I come to OS, I'll select. You can see the UEFI boot is disabled. I can't click it just because the OS selection is on others. Your system might differs from this configuration. I'm very sure it's going to be different, but you have to just check the key configurations in the BIOS and then modify them. So I have to change it to Windows 8 before the UEFI will be enabled. So I'll just enable it and then tap on OK. I'll just save the settings and quit the configuration. My USB containing my Mac boot is already connected, so I'll just skip the boot and then enter my boot option. My boot option is F7, while other PCs are even different. So you just have to now see the first boot I'm having at the top. It said UEFI generic external, which is my external USB. So I'll just have to tap on it. So now there is something I should explain to you guys before we continue, because I've been trying to try to change the settings in a wrong way, so that maybe the system is going to, my own system is going to show me that error, but it couldn't give me the error. I don't know why. In some HP systems, you normally get this error when you come to installation, when you come to the stage of installing the Mac OS file. It's going to show you that your system, Mac OS, that is this operating system, cannot be installed on your machine, or your machine doesn't support the operating system. Is a lie. That's in normally what causes that. I'm just explaining this to you guys so that if you come across that issue, you should know what to do. So what causes that issue most of the time is that you have to backdate your date to 2016 or 2015. It's going to work 100%. I've tried that solution on many HP PCs as possible. I know that. So if you have that, well, let me just come to that stage. When I reach that stage, I'm going to still elaborate on that very much. So now on some systems, you have to, if you reach this stage, you have to navigate to this option at the bottom and inject the USB under PCI devices here. Inject EFI strings. So you just mark that and then you return to the normal setting. Though in some PCs that is not required, even on mine it's not required, but I just show you guys so that you take note of that. So you just come to the install and tap OK on it. So this is going to take some time, but I'll just have to be patient and wait for the script to run everything and then load the Mac. So you should just grab your coffee and sit back, wait for it. As you can hear how my CPU is running, the fan is like, the CPU is working like crazy. taking all these bunch of files on it. So, but since no money to buy Mac PC, we have to manage it, and the PC should accept it like that. Alright guys, so I think I'll have to pause the video. I don't want it to take much of my time and storage. Well, it's just loading up now, so maybe we should just wait for it a little longer. Okay, let me just pause it here, and then when it comes to the proper setup play where to, well, so I'll have to wait. Alright guys, so here on this screen now you can see the Mojave the Mojave setup is finally on, and then at the bottom I have two buttons, back button and continue. So you just tap on continue. Well, all these stuffs, blah blah blah, you just tap on agree. Is the license agreement. So now, all right, so this is the installation part where it's going to ask you to select destination, that is going to ask you the location where the Mac OS is going to be installed. So this Neresh Mojave is my USB drive. That's the operating system, the bootable from my USB drive. So now it's at the bottom here, you can see a message here saying select the disk on which to install, and we are having no disks here. If you could remember at the first place where I was trying to make that drive, I said is not supported on Mac, so I just want to rename it so that I'll be able to identify it. So now simple, what you have to do is that you have to come to the top here. Alright, the top here to utilities, then you come to disk utilities. Alright, so this is the disk utility. Here on the left hand side I have those two storages. The first one is store, I showed you guys, which have 400 gig hard drive, and the other one is the 100 gig hard drive. I told you guys I was going to install my Mac on it. This is how I rename it the other time, Mac OS. So what I will simply do now is I'll come back here to erase, and then I'll tap on the erase. It's going to bring a pops up. Alright, this is the pops that said erase. I will still leave the title as Mac OS. I'm not going to rename it. So I'll just come to format here, and then I'll click on this arrow, and it brought up some options. You just select the first one that said Mac OS extended journal. So you tap on that, and then, well, of course, erase here. Tap on the erase and wait for it to finish erasing. I'm hoping not to get any error from this thing. Thank God. So I successfully erased. So all you have to do now is just quit the disk utility, and now back to the installation part. You can see the Mac OS shows up here. So you just click on the drive. Immediately when I click on the drive, some options just appear. I don't know if you notice it. On this Mojave, it's not going to show that option, but here it's going to show the option. That option is here, customize. So if you are installing Mac OS on Windows, this is very important. There is a bootable loader that comes with this Mojave version of Mac OS, which is Clover, that will allow your system to boot into whenever you power on the system at the first place. So it doesn't work on most Windows PC, which other people fail to notice. So whenever you are trying to install, you normally get this error when it's reached 98 to 99% of installation, and it will tell you that it fails to install these Clover configured Clover DMG stuff whatsoever. So the simplest thing I used to do is that I used to remove the Clover from the installation. I used to exclude the Clover from my part of installation so that I won't get that error. So all I have to do next time, if I want to boot to the Mac, I will just have to connect my USB containing my DMG file, and then I'll just click on it like I want to do fresh installation, and it's going to give me an option that will ask me to either install the Mojave on the USB or load or should boot to my Mac OS drive, this drive. So at that time I don't have to do fresh installation. I'll just tap on the Mac OS drive where I installed the Mac, so it will just boot straight to the Mac OS Windows, and then will give me my programs to run. So what I used to do is that I will just come to customize here, and then this will drop down, and then I'll expand the Nirish. I'll expand the Hackintosh zone also, and then I'll come to bootloader, and then I will exclude the Clover from the installation part. That's just it. And if you want to do some other configuration, you can kindly do that, but it's going to I haven't even tried all those things, but you can try it, because I believe anything that shows 0 KB has no use because it's not valuable. I don't think it's even going to work. So to save much time, let me just accept the settings. The only thing I did there is that I untick the Clover. So then you select the drive and continue. This is going to start the installation. All right, installing on target. All right, so what I was telling you guys that all right, exactly, this is what I was expecting. I was expecting it to give me this error. It wasn't giving me the error. That's why I was explaining the other time. So on most of the systems, you get this error that we said Mac OS could not be installed on your computer. A GUID partition table GPT partition scheme is required. Quit the installer and restart your computer, then try again. So if you get this kind of error, all you have to do is change your date to 2015 or 2016. Is going to work 100%. So I'll just all I have to do is off my system, and then change my date back, and then I'll continue, and then we'll continue from here to save much time. So welcome back, guys. All I just did now is that I off the system and then boot to BIOS. I changed my date back to 2015. I haven't tested this. I just did all previous steps we did at the first place to save time. That's why I didn't record those parts, so that the video will not be bulky and be very hard for me to upload for you guys. So all I just did, I repeat this. I off the system, change my date back to 2015, and then boot back to this place. So let's try and see if changing the date back could fix the problem. All right, I'm not expecting. Wow. So as I told you guys, I didn't do anything. All I just did is I off the system and changed the date back to 2015. As you can see, it's finally installing. And remember to untick the Clover so that you won't have this error when you come to 98 to 99%. So now I'll have to go for break for this because it's going to take a lot of time and I'm not going to wait for it. So guys, after waiting for like 30 minutes, they said it's about 16 minutes, but believe me, this takes to 30 minutes or above. So now it's just about a minute left. So at this point, let's assume I didn't untick my clover the other time. Definitely at this point it's going to throw me an error, and so the installation will just end up here. I'll redo it 100 times. It will just be giving me that error at this stage. That's why I told you guys the other time that it's advisable to just that's why I just advise you guys to untick the clover so that you won't be stuck at this point. So a minute is even taking much longer. I think I'll just have to stop the video. When it comes to the next screen, I'll just show you guys. I don't want the video to get so long. Okay, so guys, as the Mac OS finished installing, then it rebooted back to this page. This is where it's going to give you different loaders, where you're going to select the drive you want the PC, your machine, to continue boot into. So now I have three different options. The first one is my USB drive that contains the installation part. The second one is the Mac OS I created the other time, the 100 gig I shrinked from my 500, which I installed the Mac on. And then the third one here is my 400 gig hard drive with the title store that contain my other files and my Windows operating system. So now all I have to do after the installation, this is where I went the first place, and then I bring out the Mac OS partition and then installed the Mac OS on it. So now after rebooting, it just bring up this stage for the second time. And every time you want to use your Mac OS, you just have to, when you just come to this place, you navigate to the drive where you install the Mac, and then you tap on it to boot. So now, as you can see, the script running is trying to boot into the Mac operating system I just installed. So I think that's the all technical things about installing Mac OS on your Windows. So, and do remember guys that we didn't install Clover. So without having Clover, our computer would not automatically boot to the Mac OS Windows. So anytime we want to boot to the Mac, we have to connect our USB drive containing the Mac operating system to take us to that boot option, where it gives us different options to choose. So we will now select the drive containing the bootable option, and then we'll let it boot to the normal Mac Windows. So now there's nothing you just have to do again. It's just you have to wait for it to load up, and then it will show you to where to set up. Select your country, your location, your language, the username you want to use for the Mac, the password you want to be using, and then your keyboard layout. So that's the main things. Once you have did it to this stage, you have already finished all the important things you have to do. So now I think I'll have to end the video in this at this stage. So see you in the next video. Maybe the next video would be how to install the patch, the dependencies file for various Mac bypass tools. So see you in the next shot. Thank you for watching guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like the videos. And if you have any question, I'm going to leave our forum link in the video description, also to our Telegram channel and our Telegram chat group, so that you guys can hit me up whenever you want to ask for something. Thank you for watching.